Okay? So, how about we just do this together? I'll just bring this over here. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So, I'm not going to have you read through this entire document because you already did that, right?
I have written it, I have read it, I have, lived it, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mr. Silcox.
Yes.
Okay, September of 2007.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the first one that died as a result of what I did.
Okay. And before you get into that, you have signed kind of page numbers, all that kind of stuff on these documents. So we'll just go in order of how you've written it, okay? And I know that the detectives in Toronto kind of had this in their possession and just kind of got you to recall some things.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it here because, I mean, you've already written this out. So what's on here is we already know that. I just have some follow-up questions just with regards to each circumstance. So, Mr. Silcox, it says here you were working a double shift from 3 till 7, right?
3 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Right. Okay. And this was at Crescent Care?
Yes.
Okay, in Woodstock?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about your knowledge of James and your daily interactions during a shift with him.
I didn't see him every time. He wasn't always my patient. I just knew from what people had said that he would grab the nurse's breasts and buttocks, and he would say horribly inappropriate things about his wife, that now he was there, he was going to fuck all of Woodstock, she was going to fuck all of Woodstock, and just would say inappropriate things. And he did touch me inappropriately once.
And where was that?
On my breast.
On your breast, okay. And were you alone in the room at that point?
Yes.
Okay. Did he have a roommate at all? Did James have a roommate?
He must have. He wasn't in a single room. So he was either in a double room or a quadruple room.
Okay. Would you remember any other residents that would be roomed with him at that time? Or?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
That's okay. What portion of the home was James in at this point?
He was in there's an east wing, south wing, north wing. He was in the north wing, about halfway down, and he was either in a double bed or a quadruple bed.
Okay. All right. And the diagnosis of his health at the time you were caring for him, do you remember?
He was post-hip surgery and he had dementia.
Okay. Do you remember how old he was approximately?
No, I don't. I'm going to say 80s.
In his 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. And, sorry, he was not a diabetic?
Non-diabetic.
And, sorry, you said he had dementia?
Yes.
Okay, which you've also noted here as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about the night, was this the first person that you did this to?
That I tried. Well, there were other people that I'd done it to who didn't die.
Prior to James?
Prior to James.
Okay, and are they documented on here?
He's the first one who died.
Right.
Back here?
But there's some other...
People who didn't die.
Right, so I can't read that first name.
Clotilde Adriana.
Okay, so that was, I mean, they're both September 2007, but that was before James?
Yeah.
Okay. So was this your first attempt at overdosing these people on insulin?
Yes, Clotilde was.
Clotilde.
And I didn't really want her to die. I don't know, I was just angry and had this sense inside me that she might be a person that God wanted back with him.
And is that feeling you're referring to that you had in your stomach at times?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the point, and I hate to get off topic here, but the point where you had these feelings in your stomach and almost that laughter after it happened?
Yeah.
Is that the part that you didn't tell Dr. Khan?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that.
I told him about the laughter in my stomach, but not the feeling that this might be the person that God wants.
Okay.
Because I just sounded so stupid.
It's your feelings, right?
Mm-hmm. I honestly felt like God wanted to use me. And Dr. Khan kept asking me, do you think God chose me for a special purpose? I kept saying no, because that did not sound like a special purpose,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just had a sense after my marriage broke up that God was going to use me for something. And then after a while, I started to really wonder after some of the murders, if it was God or if it was the devil fooling me.
Did you feel like you were doing the right thing for these people?
No. No. I felt like I was doing what I was supposed to do, but it wasn't what was right for them.
So James, then, it was in the evening that this one took place, right?
Yeah.
It says here at about 9:30.
Yeah.
Run me through.
About 9:30, I gave him a dose of 50 milligrams of insulin. He's not diabetic. So I used a borrowed insulin pen, borrowed insulin, and gave him an insulin shot. And at 3:30, the PSW, throughout the night he was yelling out, "I love you," and "I'm sorry," and not to me, but just you could hear him calling out in his room, and that's what he was calling out. And then at 3:30, the PSWs came to me and said that he was gone. So I did what we're supposed to do. I went and listened to his heart and chest, called the doctor, called the family because that's what they wanted. Family came in and stayed with him for a while. Doctor came in and said that his cause of death was from an embolism due to his post-hip He'd had hip surgery.
Okay.
Doctor ruled it embolism due to post-hip surgery.
Okay. All right. Who do you think he was talking to when he was yelling out, "I love you"?
I thought it might be his family.
Okay.
I really did. When they came in and talked to me, they wanted to know if he'd said anything.
Right.
So I told them that I was so ashamed.
Yeah.
So ashamed. Yeah.
When you were speaking with the family.
Yeah.
And is that the family that kind of commended you for the work that you had done? And
yes, and that I've been there for them, and yes.
How'd that make you feel?
Awful. Absolutely awful.
How did you deal with it?
I just went home, went to bed. You know, I felt awful. Maybe I fought with my girlfriend. Did some exercising, you know.
Yeah.
Played some games on the computer and just tried to forget about it.
Did you have a problem sleeping that night at all, or anything like that, or did you?
Well, I was working nights, so I was,
Working during the day then?
I would say I tossed and turned a bit, yeah. Felt pretty bad. And I didn't want to see the family again. So I tried to make sure I wasn't working when they came to pick up his stuff, and I wasn't.
And what room, do you remember, like a room number, or just like you
No,
said?
it was down the nurse one.
The wing, yeah. Where did you get the insulin from for James, for Mr. Silcox? You said you had taken some insulin, and where did you get those?
The insulin was kept in a fridge in the medication room.
Okay.
We had 2 medication rooms. Insulin was kept in a fridge in the medication room, and extra pens were kept in the drawer. So you could just say somebody who had someone admitted and needed a pen in a hurry. So you just put the insulin in the pen and put the needle on and dial up the dose and give it.
And how was that documented? To know that, so that Crescent Care would know that you were taking that insulin?
They didn't keep track of insulin.
Okay. So it was just something that was available for the nurses to use when they knew that it was appropriate for the certain patients?
Yes. Now each patient has their own insulin.
Right.
And maybe somebody may have noticed that a lot of insulin was missing if a lot was used, but I was always careful to use different people.
Okay. Different people's insulin?
Insulin, yes.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Silcox, then where did you inject the insulin into his body?
I'm not really sure. I'm going to say his arm or his torso.
And did he know what was going on at that point?
Not really.
Was he a verbal patient? Like, could he converse
with
you and
he
communicate?
didn't really converse. He did a lot of yelling out. I don't really remember him reacting when I gave it to him.
So he didn't react?
I don't remember him reacting, no.
Okay. Would he maybe just think it's a regular portion of his day and
Probably.
receiving the medications that he so required?
Probably because he had dementia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you can remember about Mr. Silcox?
His wife and daughter loved him a lot.
Mm-hmm. And how does that make you feel?
Crappy.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, he could be a bit of a handful, but, you know, he ate and drank normally, took his pills when you told him to, so nothing else I can really remember about him. But this is, 9 years ago, so.
It's a while ago.
Yeah.
How long after, when did you break up with your husband?
I broke up with
August
him.
2007?
Oh, no. I broke up with him in end of January, beginning of February 2007.
Okay, so it was quite some time until September until you actually...
Yeah.
All right, I guess.
By that time, I was in a new relationship with a woman.
Okay. Who was that?
Her name was Maureen.
Did you ever disclose to her what you were doing?
No, absolutely not.
So you just kind of went about your thing with Mr. Silcox?
Yeah.
Went home that day, did your kind of some exercising, computer games, went to sleep. Did you work again that next day?
I don't remember.
Don't remember. Do you remember who you would have been working with on that occasion?
No.
No?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You want to get up and stretch?
I just do a lot of fidgeting.
Okay, that's okay. Hey, you're not bothering me. I just want to make sure that you're comfortable.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
If I need something, I'll do it.
Okay. Gotcha. Do you remember who your supervisor would have been at that point?
Well, that would be Helen Conway.
That was the head nurse?
Yeah, she was always, like, whoever was on as the nurse was the charge nurse.
Okay.
So I was the charge nurse. And at night, so as the charge nurse from 3 to 11, I was in charge of 8 PSWs. And I was and then there was 2 other wings. And so at night, as the charge nurse, I was responsible to look after the RPN on the other side, like the resource server.
Okay.
There were 4 PSWs on that side and 4 PSWs on my side, so 9 people.
Okay.
And then Mrs. Conway, of course, she wasn't around with me.
Okay. She's for case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's who we all answered to. She was, her and the executive director, Brenda, I can't remember her last name. I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna pass gas with him too.
That's fine. So, as far as Mr. Silcox goes then, besides what you were feeling in your stomach, and besides that you thought that this was a purpose that you were given on, from your relationship forward after breaking up with your husband, right?
Yeah.
You indicated that he wasn't a very nice man.
No, he wasn't.
Is that a portion of what happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wonder if that's a portion of how I chose him.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards I did feel a release and a relief.
Mm-hmm.
Like a release of pressure.
Okay. Because throughout this document, and as we go through it, a lot of these people, you kind of describe them as not very nice people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's a tendency or a pattern that we see as far as, is that why you chose these people?
Yeah, it might be, but I also know I just felt like they were the ones.
Right.
I had a feeling inside that they were the ones.
Before you injected insulin into Mr. Silcox, was it a spur of the moment thing? Had you thought about it when you reported for duty at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
I started thinking about it about 6 at night, I think.
Okay. And do you remember who the pronouncing doctor would have been?
No.
Like, how did that process work?
That process, the way it worked was, person's found with no vital signs. Nurse goes in with a stethoscope, listens for 1 minute. If there's no heartbeat, no lung sounds, nurse goes and calls the doctor on call.
Okay.
There was also a sheet that we had to fill out if we thought it was a coroner's case. In this case, I don't believe we thought it was. And then family is called. And the doctor may wait to come in and pronounce in the morning.
Okay.
Family can come in and visit the body at any time.
Okay.
So then the PSWs would get the body ready.
Okay. So prior to the doctor announcing in the morning, the family could come in and spend time?
Yeah, so the PSWs would just clean them up, put on, clean breeches and
Right.
clean up the bed and stuff.
Right. So you said Mr. Silcox, you said we didn't think it was a coroner's case. Who's it?
Oh,
What would that been?
I guess I'm using the royal we.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So would that be just a decision that you were trusted to make?
No, there's a form
Okay.
on the computer, and you go down through it, and if you tick off anything that says yes, you notify the coroner.
Okay. All right. But you would have clicked off those boxes yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously, knowing that you had done this to Mr. Silcox, did you feel that you wouldn't click yes so that attention wouldn't be drawn to you?
You know, I honestly can't remember if he was a coroner case or not.
Okay.
He might have been.
Now, with insulin...
Even though I did this to these people, when I did but see, it's phrased as, does anyone have a reason to believe that this death was not natural?
Right.
So, yeah, I wouldn't click that one if I had done the insulin. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. All right. And I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was just a question. Okay. Anything else you can think about from Mr. Silcox?
No.
Okay. Maurice. How did you pronounce Maurice's last name?
Grenat.
Is it Grenat? Okay. So tell me a little bit about Maurice. This says that this occurred in September or October of 2007. And this was at Crescent Care?
Yep.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your interactions with Maurice.
He was another one who liked to grab breasts and asses.
Okay.
He was sometimes a patient of mine. See, at that time, I didn't have a set floor that I worked on. I worked on all the different floors as a nurse, kind of filling in.
Okay.
So, one afternoon I was working with him and he did grab me. And again, I got that feeling inside that this is his time to go. So I gave him an overdose of insulin after supper. And I believe he died the next day.
And what was your shift at? Do you remember what shift
It
you were
was
working at?
3 to 11.
3 p.m.?
Yeah, to 11 p.m.
Until 11 p.m. So, like
So he died when I wasn't there.
Okay. And he was known for, it says here, grabbing the staff's breasts and asses.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember who you would have been working with at that point?
No.
Okay. Do you remember where Maurice was within Crescent Care?
Yeah, he was down in the north wing. I think he was in a double room on the right-hand side.
Okay. Yeah. And do you remember who?